Welcome everybody. Good morning to everyone. Buongiorno, as we say here in Italy. My name is Davide Agresti. I'm City Councillor for Welfare Europe as Smart City of the city of Faenza. It's for me a pleasure today to greet you to this online event and give you the warmest welcome in the name of the community of Faenza. Why we are here today? Because next Monday, 9th of May, it will be Europe Day, and a special day that commemorates the date of Schuman Declaration, which was the starting point for today European Union, the one that we know nowadays. Is a chance so to reflect on what solidarity has built and what we hope to achieve in our future. That's why we are here to talk about it. It's also a chance, in my opinion, to make you as citizens feel even more strongly that they are part of something bigger. We are a witness of this, as expressed exactly in the Europe Day interinstitutional theme of togetherness. So today we will present two important projects that with our European partner as City of Faenza we are carrying on. We are keeping going even of the emergency, even in these hard times. One of these projects is named Immagino l'Europa così. Italian way to say is how I imagine my Europe. Is a regional project that involves, of course, the city of Faenza as a leading partner, and also the city of Bergerac from France, the city of Bolesław, Poland, sorry for my Polish pronunciation, the city of Munden from Austria, and the city of Schwäbisch Gmünd, Germany. This kind of project aims at promoting an educational path for students and young people, preparing them on European issues, values, and democratic principles of European Union, and giving them the tools and the capacity to debate on these topics. Another kind of project is rediscovering Europe by feeling European cities again. Is a European for Citizen program, and the project involves always, of course, the city of Faenza as lead partner and other partner. Bergerac, again from France, Bolesław, again from Poland, the city of Biali from Bulgaria, the city of Daugavpils from Latvia, again, sorry for my pronunciation, again the city of Schwäbisch Gmünd from Germany, the city of Talavera de la Reina from Spain, and the city of Timișoara from Romania. This kind of project, it aims to sensitizing citizens and youngsters to the European values, promoting a better knowledge of European Union institutions and policies, as well as concrete rights and opportunities, creating an European culture, what we call European culture. It aims also to making Europe even more tangible and near to the citizen, to our community, and giving values to the youth association and informal groups dealing with European Union issue. Today, we will appreciate and we will have the opportunity to heard, to watch also from our Facebook pages all this kind of contribution from students, from youth association members. But first of all, I would like to give my personal welcome to all of you, especially to my major, the major of Faenza, Mr. Massimo Isola. Massimo, it's up to you for to give welcome to all of us.
Thank you very much, Davide. Good morning, everyone. It is an honor to be here to open this meeting and give my very warm welcome to all the young people and the students, teachers, educators, representatives from the partner cities of these international projects. Thank you for joining today. This is a very important moment where we will be sharing experiences on how our lives have changed in the past year. We have all faced hard times, but we also have found new resources to address the future together, reflecting on a common vision of Europe. Looking forward to your precious contributions, I would like to share some thoughts with you. The first is about European identity. Before the last lockdown, we had in Italy, as a mayor, I had started visiting the high schools in Faenza to talk with the students of different grades about their perception of Europe, reflecting on the concept of European identity. I asked them a question. Do you feel more from Faenza or rather Italians or Europeans? The majority of the students answered they feel Italian. So I tried to tell them why their European identity is nowadays and will always be more important. Only by feeling European we can overcome the challenges ahead. For this, I want to share with you some reflections on some key elements that can show why it's so important to feel European. Europe is the only continent where names play an important role in everyday life in the society. Differently from other countries, in Europe the streets and squares are entitled to the people who contribute to realization of the society. To meet the challenges of the future, it's necessary to build a society in which the past is the strength to build the future. Also, Europe is the place where everyone, regardless of their income or birthplace, may have free access to education and sanitary assistance. In Europe, the border-free Schengen area allows people to travel across countries, for example, with no need to exchange currency and without special formalities. The European Union, as we know it today, is the result of a process including several steps. After the end of the Second World War, from the constitution of the European Coal and Steel Community to the actually European Union, I would like to highlight the importance of projects like the Erasmus program, thanks to which students of all ages may get in touch with their fellow students in other countries to live abroad and experience foreign cultures and cultural exchange. The local administrations have the crucial task to stimulate the dialogue among the young people generation to develop civic education even more and to implement the existing action for participation, such as the youth council within the municipal council and to enhance the communication with the schools. Therefore, we shall take advantage of the international tools at our disposal, such as European projects and common activities to continue to work on. 1. Students exchange between twin cities and partner city. For example, in Faenza, the Oriani and Torricelli high schools have realized such exchanges with Germany, France, and Austria. 2. Activities and exchanges of the Sarti Municipal Music School, cooperation project with Brazil, European concerts with group and orchestras of the Twinned Towns Music Child Laboratories. 3. Activities connected to pedal cars, an event organized in Faenza every year on the Europe Day, with a large involvement of our students. Taking inspiration from this event, the Ride to Learn in Europe project has been developed in order to promote pedal cars and European level. 4. Historical events like Palio del Niballo also are an opportunity for cooperation and European and international level. 5. Artists' residencies in the field of design, ceramic, and handcraft studies in general. 6. Faenza is a city with a strong European identity. In 1968, Faenza was the third city in Italy and the first not being a province chief town to be awarded the Europe Prize. Since the 14th century, Faenza has been renowned all over Europe for ceramics, and especially for the 16th century Faenza whites. Since then, Faenza plays an important role both in production and in organization of policies related to the issues. I am the president of the European Route of Ceramics, an association of the Council of Europe, one of about 30 European cultural itinerary that use ceramics to raise awareness and bring artists and artisans together, sharing experiences. But not only the traditional artistic ceramics handcraft connects Faenza to Europe. The Municipal Mazzini Theatre is a member of the European Route of Historical Theatres, a network involving our city in several activities. To conclude, I think that our common goal for the future after the pandemics will be to raise up again the curiosity and the habit to travel and for human exchanges. We should make a treasure of what we have learned during this period, where the digital and web tools have proved to be fundamental, but as a support to meeting in person. So let us appreciate our online experience today, and I trust we may see each other in person again soon. Thank you.
Thanks to you, Massimo, to speak in the name of all our community of Faenza. You gave us a lot of ideas about all the experience that link together Faenza to Europe and Europe to Faenza, and not only Europe, also worldwide, as you said, for example, with our project in Brazil. I think is all kind of programs that follow the stream of European idea of future. But let's keep on with our programs that today is particularly rich, and we want to give voice to all the partners that are involved in this kind of project with us, the municipality of Faenza. In particular for the students that months ago, in the last weeks, works a lot to make us know all the experience all around Europe, especially with a video compilation that will present the participant city. And the first slideshow of video will be about Bergerac, our partner from France, and from the city of Bolesławiec from Poland. Bolesławiec, sorry, they correct my pronunciation. Bolesławiec from Poland. So now let's see these two video compilation.
Hello, here we are in the town hall of Bergerac. Bergerac is a city located in the southwest of France, in the Nouvelle-Aquitaine region, in the department of Dordogne. The name of the department comes from the same named river that crosses it. The city is twinned with the Italian city behind the Rediscovering Europe project, Faenza. The Nouvelle-Aquitaine region is also twinned with the Emilia-Romagna region in Italy. This city is known for its historical and cultural side. Bergerac has an area of 56.1 square kilometers and a population of 30,000 people. The recently elected mayor of Bergerac is Jonathan Trio.
So we are here in Perdue Garden. It's a beautiful park in Bergerac where you can find lots of infrastructure. The environment is very important for the city. Bergerac has a barrage who produces electricity. Bergerac receives the flower town Laden since many years. Our city is located in the middle of plains and surrounded by vineyards, but we will talk about this later.
Notre-Dame of Bergerac. It represents an element of Bergerac's legacy, described usually used on Wednesday and Saturday mornings because of the market. Then the other day of the week thanks to shops of the Rue de la Résistance. So now we are in front of Cyrano de Bergerac. So he's a character created by Edmond Rostand in 1897. This piece of theater is one of the most represented in France and abroad. So Bergerac is a place of culture with this literature, but the city tries to diversify in other fields of art. For example, in the music with this popular festival of jazz. Also, the cultural center proposes a lot of local, national and international spectacles with dancing, music hall or drama representations. During the summer, the municipality organizes a festival called Estival for the population on the harbour of Bergerac and for young people and tourists.
We are now in front of the quay, which represents the historical riches of our city. Dating back to the Middle Ages, our city was the crossroad of many goods, but also of many ethnic groups. This historic era represents not only the touristic attraction of Bergerac, but also the large number of activities in town. Indeed, on a commercial level, Bergerac is known for a vineyard city, but it is also known for its foie gras. Then, in terms of tourism, our city is a in a fairly attractive region named La Dordogne, with a number of 3 million tourists every year, and with the tourist sector which represents 22% of our economic activity. Finally, in terms of sports, our city has a large panel of associations with that shows the variety of this sector, and with some athletes shining internationally and nationally. For instance, we can talk about Stanley Delaire from Bergerac, who is the world rowing champion.
Thanks for watching this video. See you soon.
Witam serdecznie w Bolesławcu, mieście ceramiki, mieście, którego historia jest znana każdemu, kto interesuje się historią europejskiej ceramiki. Bolesławiec został założony w 1251 roku i przez tych 800 lat przechodził z rąk do rąk. To były wpływy i piastowskie, i pruskie, i niemieckie, i czeskie, i wreszcie znów polskie. Bolesławiec to prawdziwy tygiel kultur. Tutaj po II wojnie światowej przyjechali do naszego miasta przybysze z całej Europy, z Francji, z Bośni i Hercegowiny, z Chorwacji, z Ukrainy, Litwy czy Białorusi, bo tak dzisiaj te kraje się nazywają. Zbudowaliśmy wspólną społeczność opartą na różnorodności, tolerancji i otwartości. Dlatego jesteśmy miastem europejskim. Bolesławiec to miasto, które jest stolicą polskiej ceramiki i tworzy sieć miast ceramicznych w Europie, za pomocą której to sieci wymienia doświadczenia ceramiczne, ale też buduje wspólną przyszłość, tę gospodarczą i tę, która dotyczy przyszłości młodego pokolenia.
We built an open civil society, together with our friends from 10 twin towns. We also cooperate with many other European centers. Together, we run projects activating all generations. We have completed hundreds of projects with thousands of participants. Our initiatives included educational and exchanging programs, sporting and cultural events, building European solidarity, supporting excluded groups, solving social problems, and eliminating language and cultural barriers.
Our cooperation focuses on heritage and our brand ceramics. Artists from all over the world have been meeting in Bolesławiec for more than 50 years to create in the town of good clay during the International Ceramics and Sculpture Workshop. A true stunner and unique experience is the Bolesławiec Ceramics Festival. Around 200,000 visitors, including our European partners, come to our city every year to enjoy ceramics created in Bolesławiec and other famous European ceramic centers.
Inspired by our European partners, we established the Polish Association of Ceramic Towns and joined the cooperation network coordinated by the Cities of Ceramics European Grouping of Territorial Cooperation. Our joint initiatives are to develop territorial and international cooperation in the ceramic industry. Together, we promote the ceramic industry and crafts and participate in the development of European legal regulations protecting local products. We work with European Route of Ceramics Association to protect and support cultural heritage and to develop the European Route of Ceramics.
Bolesławiec is an active member of international associations and organizations. We belong to the Association of Polish Municipalities in the Nysa-Uri region to create a common space for the free flow of information, tourism development and equal access to culture with Czech Republic and Germany. We joined international network of cooperation based on the idea of European cultural roots. We are a member of European Federation of Napoleonic Cities, where cities work together for development of Destination Napoleon route. We are involved in promoting Via Regia route and Santiago de Compostela pilgrim route.
Along with friends with the 5 European countries, we participate in the project Rediscovering Europe by Feeling European Citizens Again under the Europe for Citizens program. We debate, conduct surveys and reflect on the challenges facing the future of European community. We form the European Youth Parliament so that young people can learn the most important values, namely democracy, freedom, equality. Together, we can shape the future of our old continent as conscious Europeans.
Thanks a lot to the city of Bergerac and to the city of Boleslaviec. I perfect my pronunciation. I try to improve minute by minute. And thanks to let us involved in your city, to let us make a virtual tour, even in this condition. I saw in the last video of Boleslaviec also some frame of our city of Faenza, and I was really glad to see it. Let's keep on with our program, especially with other 3 video compilation. The first one from the city of Daugavpils from Latvia, the second one from the city of Schwäbisch Gmünd in Germany, and the last but not the least from the city of Faenza. Let's see it.
Daugavpils is Latvia's 2nd largest city. We are inviting you to get acquainted with this unique city that has been located at an intersection of trade routes for 740 years already. The city, near the Daugava, begins from Venebas Square. At one time, it was a commercial center, now a center of social life. A pedestrian street, Rigas Street, passes through the square. Along the main city street, one can walk from the train station to the riverside of the Daugava. At the initiative of President Karlis Ulmanis, in 1937, Unity House opened its doors on the city's main square, where the Latvian Cultural Center, the Tourist Information Center, and a theater are now. Plays in the Latvian, Latgalian, and Russian languages, as well as performances by the modern ballet troupe of the Daugavpils Theater, are always crowned with success. Original paintings by the internationally known Daugavpils artist Mark Rothko can be seen at the Art Center, which bears his name. The Art Center is located on the territory of the Daugavpils Fortress, a monument to architecture and an urban construction of state significance. Running from the fortress along the Daugava River is an embankment which has protected the city from devastating floods for more than 170 years. The longest street in Daugavpils, the 18th of November Street, begins at the embankment. On it, you can see a place called Church Hill. Here, in close proximity to one another, are churches of 4 religious denominations: Lutheran, Catholic, Orthodox, and the Old Believers. There are 3 other noteworthy houses of worship in the center of the city. The Roman Catholic Church of St. Peter in Chains on Rigas Street, the oldest and the only preserved synagogue in the city is on Cietokšņa Street. By the way, it is the only one in Latgale which is open to tourists. And the St. Alexander Nevsky Chapel, rebuilt in memory of the cathedral that had been blown up. The chapel is located on Andreja Pumpura Square, who was a Latvian poet of the mid-19th century. Opposite the square is Daugavpils University. In the square in front of it, there is a sundial with a centuries-old history. Dubrovina Park is a favorite location for townspeople and visitors alike. It bears the name of its founder, the city's mayor, Pavel Dubrovin. On his initiative, a park with rare species of trees was created on the site of a swamp with walking paths and a fountain. Today, it is a place for recreation and ceremonies. Another large park is Central Park. The Tree of Love and the Alley of Benches, renowned Latgalian ceramics, can be seen in the center of ceramic art. It is a unique chance to visit a potter's workshop and become a participant in a master class. Daugavpils Regional Studies and Art Museum is the repository of the city's rich history. Here, exhibitions are constantly changed and updated. The Russian House and the Centers of Polish and Belarusian Culture offer tourists the ability to get acquainted with the cultural heritage of their peoples. Representatives of the fauna, which is characteristic of our latitudes, as well as rare exotic animals, live in the Latgales Zoo. The lead shot casting factory is the only one of its kind in Northern Europe. Sports lovers are welcome to the Olympic Center and the Ice Hall. Lokomotiv Stadium is a national training ground with a speedway track that meets world standards. It regularly hosts the races of the Polish Nice League and one of the stages of the International Grand Prix Speedway Series. Daugavpils offers water recreation to tourists. The Muchas canoe and boat rental operation and a raft with the On a Raft to Rothko program add to making water recreation on the river unforgettable. On the shore of Stropu Lake, there is a blue flag flying, a sign of the beach's conformity with European environmental standards. Food, industrial products, appliances, and souvenirs. All of these can be found at the Solo Shopping Center and the Diton Shopping Park in the center of the city. Moviegoers are invited to the modern silver screen cinema. Welcome to a lively, multicultural city that is rich in history. Daugavpils.
So thanks to all the three contributions that show us also how art, culture, our tradition can link each other's cities in a European way. But now, after what we saw, after that we knew better, a little bit better of our cities, we would like to give voice to the students and to the youth association members that keep part, get involved of this kind of project. Especially, we start with some girls and boys from Faenza, from the youth association Aula 21, that cares especially of photography, and that in the past weeks works a lot to reflect on their camera what the pandemic life, what the social and the social emergency did to our community. Up to you.
Thank you for the presentation. I'm Anna, I'm 18 years old, and I'm a member of Gruppo Fotografia Aula 21, which is a group of young people. It was created a few years ago by a group of students who had in common the interest in photography and the desire to do things together, and now we are an association that counts almost 70 young members. So even in quarantine, when we were all apart, we managed to keep in touch, and when the quarantine was over, we created something together, which is the book Quattro Mura, this book, our first printed publication. So we are really proud to be here this morning and present our experience to you. The book is called Quattro Mura, which literally means 4 walls, because in March last year, from one day to the next, we all found ourselves locked in our homes because of the pandemic. And the temptation to restrict our look at the world was great, unfortunately. But the essence of photography is quite the opposite, we think. It widens the eyesight. And this time, photography led our eye in 2 different directions. So the book is divided into 2 sections, which arise from 2 different projects. Firstly, we looked more carefully at the rooms and balconies and gardens of our houses, as you could see in the images, discovering little details that we had never noticed, enjoying the spaces that seemed to be too narrow for us, for example, our bedrooms, and also investigating our family members from a closer point of view. From all of these, Quarantine Stories has born, which is actually the final part of the book that consists of a series of photos that we took in that period and later shared with each other. But then we turned our gaze to a category of people who are different from us, maybe distant, and often forgotten, especially in the most chaotic moments. These are the elderly, old people. As an association, we have already met migrants and worked with them, so dealing with old people was another way to include and take care of minorities, which is one of the pillars of the European spirit. I'm going to present you this part of the book, which is called Ai miei tempi non c'era il Covid. When I was young, there was no Covid. It is a reportage, as you could see. So we combined photography with writing. The old people we met were both our grandparents and men and women and couples and also priors of our city. We met them in their homes and we listened to them telling us the stories of their quarantines, the little things, their routines, but also the things that they had missed the most and that they were most afraid of. Old people are not the weakest, nor they are heroes. They are simply humans, and we find them fascinating because they are so rich inside, so full of memories and experience we don't have. So these are 2 fundamental things in the survival box for any quarantine, we think. And now Caterina will briefly explain the various parts of this reportage, which is the first part of our book. And then Robert will talk about the graphic project. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Caterina. I'm 17 years old and I'm attending the first year of Liceo Classico here in Faenza. As an anticipated part of this book talks about the project. When I was young, there was no COVID. This work was born by the desire to listen to the ones who probably during last year's quarantine suffered enormously, the elders. Moreover, to share with them some reflection on this quarantine. Through interviews and photos, we managed to recreate different stories, all unique, to talk to talk about family relationship, independence, and religion, faith. So these last three aspects of everyday life are the three ideas from which we divided in groups to make this project and talk about the elders ones, but inevitably also of us. In fact, we were all forced to stay at home. There we could only talk to the same people. So when we finally had the chance to talk to new ones, it was very, very nice. Hearing other voices and leaving our comfort zone to enter the one of the elderly enriches us in many ways. So now Robert will explain the graphic project.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Robert, and I'm attending the 5th year class at Oriani High School, and I'm specializing in graphic design. My contribution about this project has been of great importance because I have created the entire graphic design of the book and also of the layout. First of all, I would like to tell about the cover, which is a very important component of the book. As you can see, the cover shows the plan of the house, which is actually what could best represent the place we live in during our quarantine. The graphic design occupies both sides of the cover. On the front, we can see the title, the author, and the graphic that continues on the rear side of the book. The back cover contains a small summary of the book. The book has been divided into chapters, and each of them represents a single project. The first one is called When I Was Younger, There Was No COVID, which been made in black and white. Text and photo are mixed together. The second project is a collection of photos that were taken during the lockdown period we went through last year. And this second idea got the name Quarantine Stories. Thanks for your attention.
Thanks to you, Robert, Anna, and Caterina, also to get us inside so deeply of what we lived in the past week, in the past year. Maybe also what we will live for some months, even in the nearest future. Thanks also to remind us some of the European values as solidarity and the capacity to help each other. I think the projects that you made show us very clear what it means in our daily life. But let's keep on with our program. We have a second contribution of a video made by the students of the city of Daugavpils from Latvia, especially that focus on what the student experience with the pandemic changes in their daily life at school. Let's see it. Thank you very much. Spasiba balshoi to the students of Daugavpils that they show us how deeply in the bones they participate also to the Independence Day, even in these circumstances, especially to carrying on their daily activity. Do not blame the world. Find a solution. I think is a perfect phrase to conclude the video. We have another contribution about the pandemic life during these tough times. This third video comes from Germany, from the city of Schwäbisch Gmünd, the city that is also a twin city for us, for the municipality of Faenza. There is a very strong relation between us. So it's a pleasure for me to give voice to them, to their students, that they will show us a video made by them.
Hey, I'm Ella. I'm Franzi, and we're going to show you in our little COVID vlog how we deal with the situation and what we're doing.
So we try to hang out like once a week and we have some social contact, plus it's pretty boring when you're alone all day long. So when the weather is pretty sunny, we go outside for a walk and enjoy the weather. So we're at home now.
And we decided to make some brownies, so now we're going to the store and buying the ingredients. So now we're going to talk about how we feel in the situation and what are our fears.
Yeah, so it's really hard to focus and really motivate yourself to do something for school, and just to wake up every day just feels weird because every day just feels the same, and really often you just have like bad moods or bad days. You just feel bad and don't want to do anything, and you're just mentally unstable.
Our fears are that when we're going back to school that we have problems with the new learning material, and also when we're going to write some class tests that we are getting bad grades. But then we try to remember that everybody is in the same situation and that we're not alone.
Yeah, so that was our little COVID vlog. I hope you enjoyed. Take care.
Stay healthy. Bye.
Okay, stop. First, hello. I'm Adrian. And unfortunately, that's not the reality. I can't get up in the afternoon. I wish I could, but I can't. And I don't make me a smoothie when I get up, because there is something named school. So I'm sorry, but I have to get back to see the reality. This is the reality. I wake up at 7:30. The first thing I'm doing is dressing me up. And yes, I can do that very fast. Because I realize I'm very late for school, I have to hurry up. It's the same thing every single morning. It's time for a small breakfast. Here I'm making cornflakes. Len is way too good for me. I know it's a hard time, and in this video everything seems just so easy.
I mean, we're all stuck at home, and what I'm trying to say is that we all need to make the best of it, just like I try to in this video and every other day.
Thanks a lot for the contribution, for the videos. I know that at the moment, I think Franzi, Adela, maybe also Adrian are online with us. Maybe they want to add something, if they want to tell us something more about the videos. I know that they are connected at the moment. I don't know if Andrea can give them the chance to speak if they want. Because I saw them at the beginning of our day. They were connected with us, but now at the moment, I don't think it's possible. So we keep on at the moment, and it's my pleasure to introduce you Stanislav Ratainsky from the municipality of Boleslaviec, that can conclude our day and give us some thoughts about what we saw and what we will have to do in the future to get this European relation every day stronger. Stanislav, good morning.
Hello, everyone. My job today is to conclude the results of the research that we made recently during the Rediscovering Europe project. This research concluded and was referring to an attitude towards European Union. The first part of the research we conducted in 2019, but because of the COVID situation, we had to a bit rearrange our project, and we decided to repeat the research, concluding that COVID situation had of course a great impact on how people would perceive European Union. So, as we heard today, it especially influences youngsters, but the research was referring to whole generations. Can you see my presentation? What do I have to do to make you see the presentation? Can you see it now? Can you tell me?
Stanislav, maybe if you press the button share, that is at the bottom of your screen.
Yes, and then video file or share screen.
I think if your presentation is on your laptop, you can press share screen and we will see it.
Okay. Just a second, okay?
At the moment, I don't think anything.
Just a second, okay? I will try to launch it.
Now we can see your presentation, Stanislav.
Okay, great.
You can see your screen with the presentation on.
Okay. Okay, so just like I mentioned at the beginning, the research was referring to an attitude towards European Union before COVID and maybe not post-COVID, but during the COVID pandemic. We wanted to know how did COVID change the perception on the EU, and because of that we decided to do a partial comparison with 2019 results. We did a survey, which was an online survey. It was available not only for the partner cities, but for the whole for all Europeans. And the results are like this. First question was, name 3 words you think of when you hear European Union. In 2019, the most common words were freedom, euro, and peace. This year, during the pandemic situation, the first was euro, so the European currency, then community and freedom. I think this is important because the value of freedom, the virtue of freedom is not considered the most important when associating with the word or expression European Union. This means that maybe nowadays for people euro and community is more important than it was before only 2 years ago. The second question was, are you content with the fact that your country is a part of the EU? And as you can see on the screen, there are no significant changes between 2019 and 2021. Maybe 1-2 percentages, so there are no significant changes, and most of the people would declare definitely yes and rather yes. So it's quite optimistic, I believe.
Stanislav, sorry a second for the interruption, but we cannot see the ingoing of your presentation. We can see only the first slide. Maybe if you press on your laptop to start the presentation, I think it's a PowerPoint file, right?
I did that, and I managed to change slide.
Because for us it was only possible to see the first one, but I think you moved on, but we cannot see the second one, the third one.
Just a second, some technical issues. Maybe I'll try.
It's not an online meeting without a technical issue, so it's a must. We must do it.
Yeah, I believe you're right. Okay, so you can still see the first slide.
No, at the moment I can't see anything. Yes, now yes. Now I see the first one, Stanislav.
Okay.
On a full screen, so it's different from before.
Okay, so maybe let's try like this. Any change?
No, we can see. Wait a second, because I think there is a few different from your voice to the screen. At the moment, for me, it appears a black page. So I cannot see the next slide.
Okay, maybe.
Otherwise, if it will not be possible, we will follow you only by your explanation. I think will be enough.
Or maybe let's do it like so. You have, do you have my presentation? I sent it to Elisabetta. Maybe it would be easier if you could change the slide.
Now Elisabetta is sending the presentation to the technician, so maybe directly the technician can show us the presentation. Stanislav, I think that you can keep on with your presentation as soon as will be possible to show also on the video. The technician will do it.
Okay, so I would see the presentation changing slides. Okay, so when I see it, I can continue. Maybe I can give you some background about the research.
Yes.
At the beginning, we decided we can do it both ways. So we would like to start, and we started the online presentation, the online survey, which was available for a couple of months. And also in the first part of the project, we did the online interviews. So the youngsters from the all of the partner cities would visit people from all generations and make a very short interview. And then because of this and out of this, we did the compilation of the videos. So we could see the picture of Europeans. What do they think about Europe nowadays? Like I said, all generations of Europeans. We started with the oldest generation that took part in the research were people born before 1946, and then and up until the generation, I believe it's called Generation X. So youngsters born after the year of 2000. So we have the whole background of the opinions from all the generations. The questions would refer to how do you perceive EU? Is it important to you? And very important thing that what's your message to Europe and Europeans? So everybody could address their message, meaning, for example, stay healthy or stay together. We have to unify more or less. It would depend on the opinion of the individual. So I think it gave us a picture of Europeans, and it also made young people visit their grandparents, their neighbors, their friends. So it was very still a social event, so to speak.
Okay, I don't know if Andrea is already ready to show us the presentation, so we can keep on knowing better slide by slide what the interview program aims for. But I don't see at the moment any changes. So I think, Stanislav, if you are agree that you can keep on to tell us more about the project, also about the interviews, and when we will be ready to show the presentation, we will follow your voice also with the slides.
Okay. So maybe let's do it like so. So just like I mentioned, we decided to compare the results from the previous research, and at the beginning there were no significant changes. I can see the first slide, so maybe can you... Okay, so something is...
Tell us, Stanislav, in which slide we have to stop, maybe the third one, the fourth one.
Okay.
We did it.
So, great. So going on and moving on, this question would refer to the fact, are you content with the fact that your country is a part of the EU? The first part of chart would refer to 2019 results, and the orange one would refer to the last one, 2021. So as you can see on this chart, there are no significant changes regarding the opinions. Most of the participants would say that definitely yes, they are content with the fact that their country is a part of the EU, so this is quite optimistic. Could you take next slide, please? Next one, the one above, number 5. Oh yeah. Okay, great. So this is exactly the same. So 2019 and 2021, the exact amount and percentage of participants would say that they do feel Europeans, 85%, contrary to 15% of the participants who do not feel European. Next slide, please. This question refers to the fact or the statement if the EU institutions have a capacity to cope with challenges. Still, the results between 2019 and 2021 are quite similar. Most of the people would say that they believe that EU institutions have a capacity to cope with the challenges. We still have to remember that we are still facing COVID, so we don't know how this opinion would change after the COVID situation, but during pandemic, during this storm, Europeans still believe that EU institutions have a capacity to cope with challenges. Next slide, please. Okay, something is far from okay here, but do you consider limitations due to COVID-19 made in your country reasonable and effective? This is the question that was asked only this year, so only 2021. Most of the people would say that the answer would be rather yes, so 32%, and definitely yes, 11%. So they would still believe that their country made good choices during the pandemic crisis. Next slide, please. This is very important. The question referred to if there was an influence of COVID to educational process. Something is far from okay with the presentation, but you have to believe me that the biggest part would refer to the answer definitely yes. So most of the people would say that COVID had a great influence on the educational process. We could see it talking by youngsters. They said that it heavily influenced schooling, and homeschooling was very difficult for them. Next slide, please. I picked some of the most used answers on how COVID situation influenced educational process. So the most common quotations was that it became very hard to attend lessons because we didn't go to school for about 6 months, and the online class are really hard for us and for the teachers. Also, it is more difficult to learn through different devices, but in order to continue to study, we are becoming more responsible and more autonomous. Moreover, teachers are becoming more technological. Due to COVID-19, international exchanges between students were not possible. Above all, the chances of going to study abroad have decreased. Next slide, please. Can I have next slide? Okay, so this question referred to if the new values would appear because of the pandemic, and most of the respondents said definitely yes, or rather yes. In the next slide, could you launch it? There were the most the values that were the most frequently picked. So next slide, please. So among the values, the first were people appreciate health, freedom, family, and solidarity. So these were the values the respondents would pick. Next slide, please. Do you think that EU responded appropriately to Corona crisis? Rather yes, 42%, and definitely yes, 8%. So we can say that half of the respondents would say that their response was fine, but about 1/4 of the total amount of respondents had no opinion about it. We also asked what response do you expect in the future. The respondents would say that they would expect strengthening the medical system. Also, they said that in their opinion, a crisis must be dealt with immediately and accurately. They would also expect faster vaccination, greater coordination on the health front, and major European plan for the recovery, and they would like to return to normal. Do you think that young people have more difficult situation due to a pandemic situation? And most of the respondents would say that definitely yes, their situation is far more difficult. Next slide, please. Here we asked about the main problems for young people during the COVID crisis. The respondents could pick more than one answer, so it doesn't add up to 100%. Most of them obviously picked education, but also participation in social life. So these were the most challenging problems for the young generation that we asked. Next slide, please. Among other problems, they picked sports, activity, and mental health issues. Next slide. We also asked if the pandemic situation had influence on gender equality, and I think this is a huge amount because 41% had no opinion about this case. Could you launch the next slide, please? There were some quotations. Okay, so among the most used examples by our respondents, they said that gender equality might not be considered as the main problem, but it has brought many difficulties to women in the economic, health, and above all family fields. Compulsory domestic coexistence has resulted in many reports of domestic violence and much unemployment at work than men to be able to care for children. Women are getting less and less paid, and when there is a crisis, they are first workers to be fired. During the pandemic situation, there were numerous strikes related to women's rights, which were suppressed by numerous restrictions. This is the situation that was referring to the Polish strikes. Next slide, please. The pandemic situations had influence on intercultural integration. As you can see, or maybe you can't, there are no definitive answers, so this is more or less spread. On next slide, you could see the examples of the answers. So decreased integration between various citizens of different countries, the borders closed by some of them to limit the expansion of COVID-19. People no longer trust foreigners and distance themselves. There is no international activity. It is not possible to exchange programs, to implement planned project activities. We are all in the same situation. Next slide, please. What will be the most challenging task for EU in post-corona times? Most of the respondents picked financial policy, which is quite obvious. On the first slide, we could see that the euro currency became the most important statement associated with European Union. So when there's a social economic crisis, those kind of answers are quite obvious. Next slide, please. Among other tasks, they picked education and school policy, but also ecology and climate issues. Here we ask about the opinion on the future of Europe. As you can see, the percentage of positive answers has slightly decreased, and the amount of negative increased. So there is a small, but still there is a change in the opinion of the future of the EU. The same situation, maybe even a greater difference. Do you think that the European Union should unite more? Here we have quite significant decrease by 11% in definitely yes, and so this is one of the main conclusions. People are thinking about the unification of EU. So this is still something we have to consider. Last slide. This is just an information on the gender. So more women than male, female than male were found to take part in the research. Thank you for your attention, and sorry about the technical issues. I don't know what happened. Thank you.
Thanks to you, Stanislav. I think the interview was really interesting also to understand for us that we care about European policies to design, to craft the future of our union. That's why we met today. Thanks very much a lot, and again, Stanislav. Before we had some technical problems. But I would like to give voice, if they are with us, if they are still connected, to Franzi and Ela, or to Adrian from Schwäbisch Gmünd. I don't know if they still heard us, because we weren't able to give them the opportunity to speak. Adrian, good morning. Good morning. Welcome. If you want to add something about, and you want to tell us something more about the videos that we showed before.
Yeah, we were producing these videos in our English lessons, and we think that it will fit in here in this presentation of Europe, and yeah, so we got the idea we can put those videos in this. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Adrian. Thank you very much. Ela, you want to add something about what we saw before?
Adrian said already everything, so I don't think I have to add something.
Okay. Thank you very much. Hope your school year will finish better, in a better way, because the beginning, we know, was a little bit hard due to the pandemic crisis. I saw online also the city of Bergerac. If they want to tell us something, I think we are able to give them voice. Bonjour.
Bonjour, hello. We are glad that we can be part of this meeting. I'm really sorry that I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, we do.
We are deeply sorry that none of our students can be part of this meeting today due to the resuming of the school in France. They could not do like Adrian. Past week they had a school with laptops online, but now they need to go back to school, and for all the people here who may have worked with Cécile in Bergerac. I don't know if you know her. Maybe Mr. Stanislav. She could not be part of this meeting too because she's pregnant.
It's a good reason to do.
Yes, it's a good reason. I'm sorry, there is other people than me in my office, so you can hear them too. Well, regarding this meeting, we had fun making videos about the presentation of Bergerac. Unfortunately, we could not make things work with the interview about the European and the feeling of the youngster about the Europe. But as soon as the video will be edited, we will be transmitting it to all the partners. And thanks for having us again.
Thanks to you. I think if there will be the opportunity, the occasion to do another online meeting, maybe we can show these the videos that you will send us. Thank you very much for your contribution. I see online also the students from Daugavpils. I don't know if they want to add something.
Actually, we were really happy to have a meeting with people from other European countries. We are really grateful that we had the opportunity to keep in touch with different lifestyles. And we agreed that we have to come up with different solutions to how can we cope with the pandemic.
Okay, thank you very much. And again, last but not least, I will give voice to the guys of Aula 21. Robert, Anna, Caterina, you want to tell us something more about your work, or you want to say something else?
We also really appreciated the videos of the other partners, and we actually were commenting them with each other while we were watching them, and we found pieces of ourselves in those images, those videos, the daily life, the school, the city. So we really appreciated these virtual tours of the other cities, and also thanks to you all for having listened to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks to you again. I thanks all the participants to this online meeting. It was a very good way, in my opinion, at least to see each other online, to share our roads, our project, what we lived in the past month. Tough for everyone, but as we see, what we have to look for is always for a solution. For a better time during school, during our spare time. Thanks again. It was a pleasure for me, an honor and a pride to represent the city of Faenza in cooperation with my major Massimo Isola and to present this panel. I hope to see you soon as possible, online or better in person. So thanks again. Dziękuję, spasiba, merci. Dankeschön, grazie mille. See you soon.